Hi friends, I'm Cindy Jackson, Scrapbook Cowgirl, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating layout number 2 from the Extraordinary Life Scrapbook Workshop Kit from Stampin' Up. But as always, this layout isn't really about the paper, it's about the story. So this layout, number 2, this one, is the title on it is You Make Me Smile. So as soon as I saw those words, I knew exactly which story I wanted to tell. So sometimes a scrapbook title chooses the story instead of the other way around, right? Have you ever had that happen? So last week I created layout 1 in the Extraordinary Life Scrapbook Kit and scrapbooked about my personality. The title on that layout was Life is a Journey. So if you haven't seen last week's video, you can check that out here on my channel. So today I've got everything laid out for layout 2. And so the story I'm going to tell today is about my daughter-in-law, Carly. And so this is Carly and I here. And then Carly scrapbooking at one of my retreats. And then scrapbooking here in my scrapbook room across from me. And then one of us together at retreat. So I'm a boy mom. And so I have 2 wonderful sons. And for years, I wondered what it would be like to have a daughter. And if you're a boy mom, I'm sure you can understand. So today, I'm going to tell the story about Carly. Dakota is my youngest son, and he and Carly started dating a couple of years ago and now are married and have my first grandchild. So Carly has brought so much joy to our family, and so she's the mom of my very first grandbaby, Archer, and so I'm a Mimi now. So how many of you are a grandma or a Mimi? So she's also become one of my favorite people to scrapbook with. So some of those photos were from right here in my scrapbook room, and then some are at retreats. But one of the first ways that Carly and I bonded was over scrapbooking. So let's put this layout together, and while I'm creating, I'll share a few more stories about why these photos make me smile. So we have our sticker sheet with the stickers that are remaining. Love all these bright colors. So many fun stickers, and love the pop of black. And so I'm going to set those aside for now. And so I've got our pieces laid out. So this scrapbook layout comes with the pre-printed bases, which is so nice with this fun stitching detail. And so those are our page bases. So there wasn't very much paper to cut for this layout. All of the hearts and the title and the journaling spots that you see are all die cuts. We will add some stickers before we finish the layout, but I've gotten everything laid out. So we cut 2 corners off of these 2 to make a tag. And then I added a little black ink around those pieces, just like I did last week with a sponge tool and some black ink, just to make them stand out off the page just a little bit. And so the technique in this particular workshop, it's always optional, but they teach you a technique, is to use your take your pick tool or a stylus. I'm sure many of you have an embossing stylus with just a dull round ball at the end. So I went ahead and did the hearts already on the right page, but I saved the ones on the left page to show you how to do that technique. So this is the piercing mat. It's nice and thick, and it is great surface to use your dry embossing stylus on. And so on the hearts, you just take each one. They want you just to dry emboss right down the center of each one. And so super easy to do. You just run that down, and this is a squishy surface, so it pushes in, and then you can fold them so it creates a score line. And so it has you just put adhesive right down in the middle so that they kind of flutter off the page, sort of like you would on butterfly wings. So then you just do each layer. They're layered up hearts in all the different patterns. And so nice that these are already die cut and easy to punch out. So we'll just do each of these and then glue them together. And one of the last details they have you do is add a little bit of stitching right down the center with a journaling pen. And so you just take your journaling pen and then right down that center, just add a few little dashed or faux stitch lines right down the middle. All right, so that's one stack. We'll do the next one. So super easy to do. So do you guys have the take your pick tool? It has all different tips and ends, and I'm still learning how to use all the different attachments. But nice that it has the dry embossing stylus right on one of the ends. All right, and then this one right down the middle. Okay. You could just fold these in half, but the score line makes it a lot easier to fold, as you can see. And then we'll just lay that one back over there. A couple more to do. So I would love to know in the comments if you guys have purchased the Extraordinary Life scrapbook kit yet. Have you scrapbooked with it yet? And what topics did you scrapbook? So You Make Me Smile is the title on this one. And so who would you scrapbook? Who makes you smile? So of course my grandbaby makes me smile, but I thought about these fun pictures. I have so many of Carly and I scrapbooking together. And so when she first started dating Dakota, she came over and wanted to learn all about what I do and learn to scrapbook. And so we got her started, got her all her own supplies. And then she came to one of my retreats. And so I set her up at a spot, you know, put a layout in front of her and a few tools, and I was busy and had to walk away and come back in a little bit to see how she was doing. And she was going to town all on her own. She was adding sparkles, little rhinestones to the page, embellishing, so she was a natural right from the get-go. So she came over just a week or so ago. She hasn't gotten to come over as much now that she has the baby and is working full-time, but she came over and she wanted to do Archer's first year album. So we started working on baby pages, and so love getting to scrapbook with her, and it gives us really good time to sit and visit and catch up when we're crafting. And so I love that she enjoys that. So what more could a mother-in-law ask for, right? All right, so I've got all the stitching on those. They're all creased, so those are all ready to go. We can set our mat aside and start getting everything assembled. And so if you're not familiar, these are the instructions that come with your scrapbook workshop kit. You create 1, 2, 3 double page layouts. If you follow the instructions, you can change them up, make them your own. I did make a few subtle changes on these. When I was looking at the paper, they have the photos on this one kind of offset on the mats, and the mats aren't cut bigger than the photo. They're the same size and they're just offset. And I wanted traditional mats that fit my photos. And so I cut those papers just a little bit wider. That's personal preference. And I also used just the solid cardstock here instead of this ombre paper, because I still have one more layout to create, layout number 3, and there wasn't a lot of that paper left, and there wasn't much of the pattern showing around the outside. So I just pulled from the cardstock and just created a cardstock mat in the Flirty Flamingo. So hope you can see that. And so then I did add the 1/8 inch black mat, just like we did on last week's layout. And I just think that helps your photos pop off of those papers. And so I think, let's see, photo there. So there's 2 3x4s here that are both vertical, and then 2 3x4s that are horizontal on this side, and then 1 vertical or portrait 4x6. And it does show you on the instructions the photos. So right down here it says project 2, 2 portrait 3x4, 2 landscape 3x4, and 1 4x6. So those are all listed there for you so that you know what size photos to print for your layout. So then when you turn to the instructions, so here we go. This is the left page of the layout we're working on, number 2. And it gives you measurements, where to place everything, and instructions. And so here it says the optional technique is to use the stylus tip of the Take Your Pick tool, score down the center of the pre-cut hearts, then fold and adhere as shown using liquid glue. And then here is your measurements of where to place everything. So we're going to start adhering everything and get it stuck down. So this layout shouldn't take long at all. And get my adhesive, and so these are just pattern paper here, and then like I mentioned, just cut off a corner, flip it over, lay it on the other corner as a pattern, and then you can make any pattern paper into a tag. So this is an 1/8 inch, so 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 on the black, and then adhere that right to the tag, and we want to give an even border around the bottom and the left and right sides. And then we have that tag topper, and then the little circle is going to be the faux circle for the tag there. All right, so how many of you are grandmas or mimis? I would love to know. So I waited quite a long time. I made my mom a grandma pretty young. I had a baby, at my first son, at 21. And so my mom was a young grandma. And my boys have waited longer. So I have waited quite a while to be a Mimi. And so loving every minute of it. He is 8 months old now. So just looking at these instructions. And so the top of our tag here is 3 3/4 down and 5 1/4 over. So 5 1/4 looks like we're right about in the right spot to that top corner. And then 3 3/4 down. So we're going to go a little lower. 3 3/4. I think I might want it a little bit higher than they're suggesting. And then we're going to overlap these 2 tags. So I am not big on crooked photos a lot. And so I think I'm going to do the ones on the right page more straight than offset and crooked like they've shown. So something like that. It's saying 1 1/4 here, so maybe we'll go over a little more. All right. Hard to get that one up. 1 1/4, somewhere in there. So how about you? Do you like offset or photos at an angle or crooked, or do you like them straight? I'm sure that some of that comes from my perfectionist personality, right? That I like things a little straighter. So it looks like our title is going to go down here, and then we'll add some stickers. It has some leaves coming out and some flowers. So we'll hold on for just a minute on that one and get these other things stuck down. All right. So we're going to start adhering. I'm going to get out some liquid glue. See if we can get these hearts put together. I just put a tiny bit of glue there along the seams. Put it on here, maybe you can see a little better. and center those. Super cute. I love all these bright colors. So I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive right down the center to glue that next layer. So cute, right? And so you don't have to figure out all the mixing and matching. You just follow the instructions. Guess I better wait to fold and flutter my wings there of the heart till it's dry in the center. I'll set that aside. Let's do our next one. These are going to go pretty quick. All right. So who makes you smile? Who would you scrapbook on this layout? When I saw that title, You Make Me Smile, I'm like, there's lots of people that makes me smile, but Carly is one that came to mind first, and I thought this would be a great story to tell. So she is one of the kindest, sweetest people I've ever met. So she was raised by a very good family, good upbringing, and so true story, her mom is the one that set Carly and my son Dakota up on their first date. So she played matchmaker. So what a fun story that is, right? So that one a little bit crooked. Crooked, we can't have that. All right. So yeah, they went on their first date, and then they've been together ever since. So started dating, and then Dakota proposed, and then the next year they were married, and then the next year we have a baby. So it has been a fun journey the last few years, and so glad that Carly came into our life. So I, like I said, have only boys. I'm a boy mom, and then I am only girl in my family. I have 2 brothers, so never had a sister. So one year when my boys were growing up, we hosted an exchange student from Switzerland. And so Ursina came to live with us for a school year. And so I got to experience what it was like to have a girl for a school year. And that was fun. And so we've been to Switzerland, and she still comes back to visit us here. And she's gotten to meet Carly. So that's super fun. So Ursina, our exchange student, lived with us the year that my youngest son was born. So she has literally known him his entire life. Pretty crazy, huh? So life is a journey, right? Okay, let's do our hearts from the other side. So this is the Barely Art glue that I'm using. I love it for little pieces. I get that on Amazon. It dries clear, and yeah, I like the way it works. You could also use a little bit of Tombow liquid glue, but this has such a fine detail point. It makes it good for little tiny things that you're gluing like this, where you just want to have a precision point. All right, almost done with these hearts. There's a bunch of them in there. Okay. So do you guys have daughters or daughter-in-laws that like to scrapbook with you or craft with you? So my boys, when they were young, would like, you know, make a card for their teacher or want a stamp or something. And so there was a time when they were, you know, crafting and playing. But of course, as they got older, they lost interest in crafting with me. So it was really fun to have a daughter-in-law that was interested in scrapbooking. And so harder now with the baby, like I mentioned, in her schedule. She works full-time and has the baby, so it's harder to find the time. But hopefully we can start getting back on a regular schedule of getting together and scrapbooking. So I think we really connected and got to know each other over scrapbooking, and she would just come over for a few hours, you know, in an afternoon or something around her work schedule and on a Saturday morning. And so it was so fun to help her learn to scrapbook and get to visit and talk and get to know her better. So I couldn't have picked a better match for Dakota. They're so good together, and they're amazing parents, which is what we all want, right? So they're doing a great job of raising Archer, and so proud of him. And yeah, they're doing a great job. All right, is that all of them? I think we got them all. Yay! Set that aside and put the pin in my glue so it doesn't dry out. Got it. All right. So what do you think about those? Should we pop them up with a foam dot? A dimensional? Get some dimensionals out and try that. See if we like it popped. Okay. Looks like it'll fit right on there. Okay, perfect. And you notice that all of the die cut pieces are all labeled on the back with what project they go to. So this is project 2. You can see that. So when you punch them out, you just put them in the right pile for which layout it is. Get those backs off. Something like that. The tweezers really help with getting those dimensional backs off. All right, that looks good. I think I definitely want to put some dimensionals on the back of the title and pop that up. There. We're going to stick some sticker leaves under the end, so we need to be able to get under the sides of the title there. Such a cute layout, right? With all those hearts. If you had to die cut them or make them on the Cricut or whatever, it would take forever, but you can just punch them right out. It makes it so handy. See if they'll fit on there. Looks like they just fit. They're like a octagon, hexagon shape. And so they've got a straight edge on one side where you can turn them. Okay. All right. So cute, right? Love that. And so if you look at our instructions, this heart is going to go overlapping the top of that tag. And then this pink one up here. And then this one on the edge of this tag shows this one here. And then we've got some sticker wordy bits accents there and a little journaling spot here. So we'll be able to put our names or the date there. So cute, right? All right. I think I'll go ahead and stick those down. What do you think? So it shows these 2 leaf sprigs. Nice, pop right out of our stickers. So, you know, make sure you pop out the middle piece, those white spots. Get rid of those. See if they're the same. So, like so, and like so. So these are going to go underneath. Shows them coming down. Eek. Something like that. And then this one under the S. Super cute, right? Make sure that they're even. That perfectionist, right? Okay, let's pop the backs off of those dimensionals and get our title stuck down. So do you have someone that you like to scrapbook with that comes over and scraps with you? So I've had some friends come over. My friend Kara comes over sometimes and scraps, and that's fun, but mostly I scrap with my friends at the retreats that I host here in Stephenville. So I do about 5 or 6 a year, and I can hold 20 at my venue. Make sure those are all off. And so I do fully hosted retreats, and this is of Carly at one of the retreats. So she's all set up at her spot there. And yeah, so do all the meals and all the fun goodies at the tables, and I love hosting. So I've been doing that for getting close to 20 years now. All right, so you make me smile, so cute. So this one is going to go flat because we're going to want to write on it. And it shows it down here. Like so. All right, so the wordy bits shows "Oh Happy Day" and "Just Love This," which those will work for me. So, "Oh Happy Day." So we'll do "Oh Happy Day" right about there. I love that. Pretty peacock color is so pretty, right? That dark color. I think that I want this heart maybe to go under a little bit since it's over the edge of my face. So we'll tuck that one under a little. Let me get my tweezers, see if we can get underneath there and tuck it in. Yeah, that's cute. So we're showing another little blue sticker here, the Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. So this one's gonna go here. Little skinny one. And then "Just Love This." This one is gonna go here. Oh my goodness, something like that. Then some of these sticker flowers. So we've got this one. They're showing here. So the reason we don't glue things down all the way on the edges, right? So you can get underneath there. So cute. And then this one is showing a yellow flower. So add a pop of yellow. Showing like maybe under a little. Something like that. And then our heart here. Add a little adhesive. Super cute. So easy, right? So on our instructions, they're showing 2 more of these, pink and a blue skinny heart there. So we can find these on your sticker sheet. Grab a couple of those. Whoop! Flew right onto me. So we're going to do a blue and a pink. Very cute, very cute. Then a blue flower. I think it's one of these tucked under here. Do you guys use your tweezers a lot? Especially wearing fingernails. I said I use my tweezers for everything, I think. All right, so we've got another one of those little yellow flowers. Oh, this one may be a tinier one. Let's see on our sticker sheet. Maybe like this little. And that's gonna stick in here. Cute, very cute. This heart is kind of pointing right up here. Some adhesive. Since I raised my photos a little, I don't have as much white space up top, but I think it's cute. And then this one is going to go right about there where it's sitting. Look at that, guys. We almost got one whole page done already. That's fast, right? Cute. So cute. I think I want to put a little adhesive under there, under that one. Flipping up a little too much. Look how cute that is. My goodness. All right, what else do we need on there? So there's some sticker flowers here and a pink one here. So it's got this little tiny one over here. And then one of these multicolored. Very cute, like that. And then here above the E, we've got another one of those pink and blue ones. Kind of tucked right up under the leaves. Of course, right under our dimensional, right? Maybe right there. All right, how does that look? All right, left side looks good. Done. Let's do the right side. So this picture right here of Carly and I, we were in our retreat shirts. Our theme, I think it was an August retreat, was Celebrate. We had seashells and everything sea themed. And I have a backdrop, a photo backdrop for people to take their pictures. And so we're standing in front of the backdrop. And so made a cute picture. All right, like I said, just a tiny little 1/8 inch mat. And then we're going to stick it to that flirty flamingo. Do an even border best we can. I have that somewhere in there. And then I love this. Things I love about you, or things I heart about you. So I've got to think of only three things that I love about Carly. So I think, so of course that she makes my Dakota so happy, that she made me a Mimi, and then just that she has the sweetest, kindest heart. So see if I can fit all those things on that journaling spot, right? In my handwriting, I have to write small. So do you handwrite on your layouts? Or do you type on the computer? If I'm doing big journaling, I tend to do it on the computer for sure. Telling big stories. If it's just little things like here and here, I definitely usually handwrite. but not everybody likes their handwriting. I know it's scary to write on there after you finish a layout, afraid you're going to mess up. So, all right, we'll get all those photos matted. Okay, so this is the striped pattern paper, the DSP. This is the light side of Lost Lagoon, and then the light side of the Flirty Flamingo. I'm not sure if that is completely straight. Make sure. Something like that. All right, so we'll turn the page here on our instructions. You can see that they have the photos just offset with the mats and crooked. And so I was thinking that I wanted to do mine more traditional, I think, and have them straighter. I don't know. So we've got this little heart will go up here. We've got the green one over here. Maybe I'll go up with it since I have more room. And this pink one over here. And then the blue and yellow one down below. What do you think? Something like that. Get them stuck down. So these kits make for such fast layouts. So if you're just needing to get some scrapbooking done, some fast and easy, you don't have to worry about doing all the designing yourself. It's a great way to do it. And like I said, you can change it up like I'm doing if it doesn't suit your style. So like I said, I don't like my pictures all topsy-turvy usually. So I like a little straighter. What about you? You like crooked or straight? This and down here. So these are gonna have some stickers too. So you can see they've done the tab sticker. It goes way up on top of the stitching. So cherish this and definitely cherish our time together. So it goes right up against that pre-printed white. Make it look like a tab. How cute is that? And so easy, right? All right. I think I'm going to go up there with that one. Like that. And this one. There, and then this one. And we need to do our wordy bit. It says, adorable you. Put that under there. That'd be cute. This one has a yellow flower. Here. And then our heart. So my goodness, that came together quick, didn't it? I can't wait for Carly to see it. Maybe she'll watch my video. So if you're watching, Carly, I love you. So proud of you. So come scrapbook sometime. All right. So we've got another one of those little pink sticker hearts. I'm going to do it. It shows it in between those photos, and I didn't leave room for that. So maybe up here to fill some of that white space. And then this one is a sticker. It says, beautiful. So it's showing here. What do you guys think? They're showing it overlapping the photo. Here goes nothing, huh? There. All right, we didn't stick this one down, and we've got another one of those pink and blue stickers. So it shows it going underneath. Like I didn't think I glued it all the way to the edges. Hard to get under there. Something like that. And then this is gonna go up here. All right, guys, goodness, it's so quick. So when you get your kit, like I mentioned last week, you just use the cutting diagrams in the instructions. And so it shows you every paper to cut and then what piece goes to what piles, and you make your 3 piles for your 3 projects. And then when you go to sit down to create, everything's all in one pile, all your die cuts, all your pattern paper pieces, and it makes it so quick to put together. Like I said, it showed you the photo sizes of what photos to print, so then you know what photos to print out and what size to make them. So gosh, it makes it so easy to scrapbook. So have I gotten everything on there? I think I have. Oh my goodness. So we've got the dots. This is the array of dots, and I included those on my page last week, and they were super fun. We used the dark ones, the pretty peacock. So what color do you think we should do this time? Leaning blue, maybe the light blue. What do you think? A little more subtle than those brighter colors. So we're going to do a small, medium, and a large. Where's my take your pick tool? Let's see if I can get it to go. And we want a widow one. Okay. Maybe over here. That one, and a medium. And a widow one. Those are cute. So we went there, there. Should do some up there, some down here. So, I told you last week, I love when they have, whoops, the 3 sizes, the small, medium, large. And then it makes it so fast and easy, except when you're an overthinker and can't decide where to put them, right? Small, medium, large. So we've got here and here. I'm thinking maybe some up here. And a little one. I don't know. Ta-da! Something like that. Okay, guys. So I need to journal here and journal here. And then, my goodness, we've got another page for the book, right? So I don't think we tell people often enough how much they mean to us, right? And so sometimes the best gift we can give someone isn't something we buy. It's showing them that their story matters enough for us to preserve it. And so I'd love to encourage you to think about someone who makes you smile and do a layout. Maybe it's your spouse or your grandbaby like me, or your daughter in love. So whoever it is, don't wait for the perfect moment to tell the story. These pages make it so easy to get your story told. So print your photos, write your journaling, create the page, and years from now, you're going to be so glad you did. So thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. If you enjoyed this project, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss future scrapbook layouts, storytelling ideas, and creative inspiration. And until next time, remember, every family has a story worth preserving. So catch me next week when we do layout 3 from the Extraordinary Life scrapbook kit from Stampin' Up. If you want to order your kit and then you can watch the videos and scrapbook right along with me, I would love that. And if you scrapbook these layouts, make sure to post them online and tag me. I would love to see your layouts and what photos you used on your Extraordinary Life layouts. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.